Ahoy, crypto pirates! Welcome to your Discourse Syndicate's FN Hangout. And the reason it's your FN Hangout is because you are invited to come in here and chat with all of us. I am the captain, your captain, RG3, dedicated slave to the Hexican community. You can catch me on Twitter Spaces and YouTubes, on other streamers' channels, you name it. Whatever I can do to get the word out, support Richard Hart and the Hex ecosystem, I'm going to do it. I ain't stopping. Ain't going to make me quit. Can't stop me now. Let's see. Let me say hello to the chat rooms. First of all, let me put the link in. I didn't get to promo on Twitter, which I should have done. But it looks like there's plenty of folks coming in here. I'm not too worried about it. We're not all about the views. So let's see here. Make sure I am working here, right? Yep. Can't stop, won't stop. Nope. All right. Funding Jim. Yo, what's up, Gary? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Oh man, Funding Jim's in here. Hex Down Under. Good morning from Australia. All right, all right. Is it morning? Is that what time it is over there? Sand Dip, good morning to you. Melv Tony, great to have you, buddy. Crypto Surfer 369, Hex is the key. Yes, Doug, the normal guy. Moroccan PulseChain, hey, what's happening from Morocco? Morocco, great. Got to get there one day. Sandy Beach, my lady, welcome, welcome. Who else we got? Footsteps, let's fucking go. Rocket ship straight up or over that way, up and to the right, right? Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Sandy. You're welcome. I'm in love with Mary Jane. Okay. She's my main thing. What's up, Hexiquin? Good to see you. Good to see you, girl. All right. What else do we got in here? What else we've got? Oh, you guys are all talking to each other. Blueface. Nagix and Frank. Okay. I sometimes these names, you guys, I just can't pronounce them. Well, welcome to you too. And T-Bird, my man. Paul Sachs. Yep. Best intro in the biz. I like to think so. I mean, I kind of like it. I was the first one to kind of like throw the rock music out there and headbang to it. And I like supporting my guy there. His name is The One Nils. And you can catch him on YouTube. Jams, dude, jams. He does a lot of covers. Well, all of his stuff is covers of video games. He covers video games. Excuse me. MJ Money. Ahoy, mates. Captain loaded up his guns. Yes, I was. I was loading up my gun. JFK 666. What's up, dude? One of our expert memers. And what do you call a meme when you do it in the on video and you put people's faces on it? Is it a meme or is it called something else? I don't know. Educate me. Let's see. Dorsey. Hi, Dorsey. How you doing? Ahoy, Captain. Well, that ain't going to get you any timeouts. Let's see. Late 28. Canton won't stop. Yep. You can't not stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Who else? Hex Dator. The next bull run. We need to all remember who the real Hexicans were. Just saying, right? Who's the step Hexicans and who was the full-blooded FBHs, right? Full-blooded Hexicans. Shit's in my veins, guys. In my veins. Late 20. I love the RG3 famous combo streams. Perfect balance, pure gold. Thank you. I really enjoy my time with that young man because he is freaking brilliant. He's strong. He is respectful. He doesn't give. I mean, I can't say enough good stuff about Famous, you know. It reminds me of a younger me. Let's see. Crypto Compassion. Welcome to you. Dorsey says, I kind of just got up, so ain't nothing at the moment. Okay, I'm sure you'll come up with something. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome, and thank you for showing up. Appreciate you all. Tweet this out if you can, because I didn't get a chance to put it in the chat rooms and stuff. Usually I do. And I had a cool new thumbnail too. I was kind of bummed I wanted to do that. Let me actually go throw something into the hex.com real quick, because man, he really did a great job on Bullish did a great job on the thumbnails. Let's see. Oh, by the way, let me throw the did I put the invite in? Let me get the invite in there again. Copy the invite and put that. So this is for all of you who want to come join us on the show. You can just grab that link, throw it in there, and that'll get you on the show. Kind of a unique thing we do here that nobody else I know of in the streaming world takes that kind of risk and does that shit. So yeah, we're a one of a kind here. Let's see. What happened to my new bitchin' badass thumbnail? Is it in here? Nope, it's not in there. It's right here, right? Nope. Goodness, I can't find it now. Oh, wait. Now that's DeFi Syndicate. Man, I must not have saved it in the right file. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm going to bring the show to a screeching halt. Not that it's been moving too fast yet. But anyway, what has been going on this week in crypto? So in the Hex crypto ecosystem, I've been on a lot of Twitter lives. There's been some really good one. I guess Cookie or Orca is back, and he's been doing some stuff and trolling the Hexicans, and just hilarious. He's a brilliant dude too. He goes out there and just tears it up. He's so quick-witted and so smart. Love that guy. He puts out some good stuff. So if you haven't caught one of his, I don't know what they're calling. Somebody might have it in the chat room here, what they're calling his lives. I know, Famous does his, but man, Cookie or used to be known as Orca, is doing some amazing work. Wow, 2 weeks in a row, man. It looks like, I think he's going to join me, but his camera's not working. Let me see here. Hold on one second. Are you going to fix your camera, Dos? Let me see. Oh, here he comes again. Okay, that's a screen share. You want me to just bring you up? What's up, Dos? No. Okay, he's not ready. Oh, well, this guy's ready. This guy is ready to go right here. My good old buddy, Funding Jim. What's up, dude? Look at you. Are you muted, or are you just?
I got double. There I am. I'm back.
There you go. Yeah, I can hear you. Look at that background.
Yeah, I'm experimenting a little bit. I held I'm taking the lead from a couple of people. Fruit Finance making his TikTok challenge thing, and KDP hosting her spaces. Really kind of liaison as far as developer vocabulary. So I'm doing this PulseChain media thing, and it's on all the different platforms. And I'm going to do a show tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's just basically Twitter space that streams out to website, YouTube page, and then it'll be edited down to be a highlight reel. So like an hour and a half of a Twitter conversation of founders and developers only, really, or doxed people as the co-hosts. And then anybody can step up and ask questions about specifically PulseChain, PulseX, network stuff, if something's going to be built on those two. The thing is, I'm not vetting them. I don't know that they're not rug pulls. I don't know that they're the best things in sliced bread. So the Twitter account, which is the PulseChain Media, and also TikTok is PulseChain Media, YouTube is PulseChain Media, the website is held, even though there's nothing on it yet. So I grabbed all those URLs, and then the plan is that Twitter, anybody can come up on the spaces, and maybe they're not so shy that they'll put their voice out there. And it'd be a gateway, basically, maybe to the advocation or building something in the future. And then the YouTube content is going to be whatever your Twitter page shows at that time that you're a speaker. So it's a snapshot in time also. Like people change, what they're supporting, what they're advocating, what they built in the past, what they built in the future. And I want that to be, that snapshot. So however you come on the show is how your Twitter will be shown. And there's no links. So the accounts won't retweet links. It's not going to cover in depth, one-on-one interview style, the way that, a lot of projects get revealed. It's simply going to be Twitter engagement, hopefully a few hundred people as an audience, and developers speak or founders speak, can poke holes in some of these pitches before they get out there. Yeah, that's kind of the plan.
So kind of a pre-screen of these other projects.
Yeah, right. It's not vetting. I feel like when people get 30 minutes, an hour, it depends on how prepared the interviewer is, how if the founder is or the developer that's talking about something that may or may not launch, or some sacrifice or some narrative of, here's a market demand that we don't really know. Like we don't know what the market demand is of something that doesn't exist and hasn't existed. What is the market demand? It just sounds like a good pitch. So I want people that are, I don't want to cause fights, but I do want people that are reasonable in how they poke a hole. So guests will be people like Brother KG, or KG Brother, I think is the internet money guy. Mm-hmm. He's got his product or project, and he's got 9 developers. And I think he's very, very savvy in how he frames things. He's hosted spaces specifically for developers in the past. I like his tone. Walrus, I think that Walrus also, he's participated in the past ones, and he's likely to be participating in the future ones. And he, at the moment, is, making a lot of like podcast content and just kind of giving nuance to current events in crypto. But of course, he's got Liquid Loans as a supporter, and he's on their team and financed by their team. KDP has done really well with her tweets and engagement in tweet. And again, she is Power City as far as her employment or her advocation. Hopefully she'll come on the shows, because I want people that can poke if someone uses terminology in their pitch or in the thing that they're about to launch. One, I don't want it to be a hostile environment to come and engage PulseChains or Hexicans or something like that. I do want that engagement. However, I feel like better vetting is necessary. And I mean that from a developer, or, hey, that's a reflection token, or we saw that before, it's just another name. Like some of that stuff just comes out in the wash after the fact. And I would like to be better presented for this upcoming bull.
Yeah, I'd like to address this too, because there seems to be, Richard, who's basically the thought leader of this Hexican crypto space, has, shunned people who have talked about other coins or brought up other projects, or, brought things to the people through Twitter or YouTube. Now, I don't disagree with Richard on that. But what I do believe is that the community needs to vet these things and needs to talk about these things. And I think that we should all be extremely cautious when we're talking about these things. We're looking at them, we're exposing them, and everybody needs to do their own research, and everybody needs to get out there. But there has to be research to be had. You have to be able to get opinions from other people. So I think that it's important that you have something like this where these can be discussed. This channel has always been about letting the Hexican who's going out there and doing the work come in and speak their piece. Now, we've always erred on the side of caution and said, hey, we have not vetted this stuff. We don't know what it's all about. We've had rug pulls. We've had scammers come onto our show before and try and steal stuff from the beginning. So everybody needs to be very, very cautious, and you need to have a space to go and discuss these things. So I don't think that outright banning everything and unfollowing and blocking everybody that has anything to say about anything else is the right answer. But I do want everybody to be very cautious when going into these other projects and looking at them, because there's going to be a shit ton of them. I mean, there is going to be a shit ton, and there's going to be a lot of copycats, and there's going to be a lot of decent stuff. And then there's going to be a lot of rug pulls and a lot of things that are going to get people wrecked. So be very cautious out there with your funds, folks. And don't go chasing the shiny objects, because you want to try every time you start thinking greedy, that's when you get bit.
Yeah, it's a great frame. And again, it is kind of this big brother, person that was walked a few steps ahead of newer people. Like, it's that role that a lot of us now have inherited or built up over the past 3 to 4 years, as far as, just knowing each other, familiarity with Richard's content. Maybe we've had a cycle before ever discovering any RH products. And, some of these things have played out. Like, I think that I've complimented you a few times in the past. I should have done it more, about not just your program and hosting ability and being able to, speak passionately often, but also with, the metal of your experience. So you have a lot of experience you draw upon when you're relating to people from all walks. And I love that about your hosting ability. However, there's other stuff that, like a lot of people, I mean, it comes out in some of your random streams about, like, your technical expertise. I think that you used to run servers and gaming platforms and things like that too. Didn't you do some different programs outside of crypto and that kind of thing? We know you as the millwright, or the guy that has like radio experience and things like that. But when you say something, it is, one, because you may have walked that technical road in the past, but also you can sniff out pretty well bullshit. And that's what I'm looking for, is like people that have some public accountability. Hopefully they have history inside the tech or blockchain space. That's why I do like Walrus. I do like Orca. He came on my program. Alex from Hedron came on my program, my last episode. And I love when they throw things out there that are jargon, because it just sounds sexy and like, ooh, that sounds like it's going to be good. But I do want them to poke holes, in not just the new one on stage, but each other, because I think that we get stronger through that. If we show, hey, there's this like almost like a social bug bounty program. I want Liquid Loans to succeed. I may not ever use it, but I want it to succeed because I don't want it to wreck other people. I want Power City to succeed, but I may not ever use it, advocate for it. I don't know anything really about it, but it certainly doesn't mean that I want it to develop malicious code or dangerous code. I don't want it to, go off into a different room to have the conversation and engage speculators or investors or anything. I do want these out in the open. And I think that framing has been, in the past few years, there'll be a rotation. They'll come on Crypto Coffee's channel for an episode, and then the same day or next day it's on your channel, or some other person that is looking to engage their own audience, and also that person is wanting to make a presentation. I just want to have more like of this social, like, I don't have to be on your team to not want you to break your leg. Like that's the thing, is I want you to succeed. And if it's something I choose to support, I choose to support it. But don't hate on me because I'm not, and don't hate on me because I want honest answers on a platform that I might volunteer to host.
Exactly. And that's why, when Trayvon was putting his platforms together when Hex first launched, and if you remember some of his Hourglass games, and even Richard was promoting those at the time. And he was saying cut the man a break. He went from shilling garbage to now he's shilling something good, and he built something on it. So hats off to him, is what Richard was saying. Yeah. And I think that's kind of the approach we need to have with all of this. Is okay. Let's see it for what it is. Let's also pay homage to the work that somebody is doing, and give it time to either proof itself or to fail, and be very cautious. And like you said, vet it, poke holes in it, let other founder types get on stream together and poke holes at each other. I think that's a great idea because they're going to be the most critical. Those who are building things and see other people building things, they're going to be the most critical and ask hard questions. And then if there's answers for them, we're going to hear them from the opposition there. So I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, Richard has to walk so many different landmine, topics. Like he is very bold and out there quickly when he feels like it's his comfort zone on what he can speak about. But outside of that, these Hourglass games, the first things that were launched on top of this immutable contract token ERC hex thing, right? Mm-hmm. So it was that there were shrimp games. There was all kinds of like grow your own shrimp or whatever it was. There's all kinds of stuff. And Richard doesn't say, and he didn't even then, hey, go grow shrimp so that you can participate in this financial product. He doesn't say that. And he has to basically walk the line of, for good or for bad, the Hourglass contracts, the 4 or 5 of them that Trayvon supported and built and participated and probably was the first participant, that locked away supply. And some people forgot about that supply, or it dissolved, or went into, it just gone. Like I think it's like last man standing kinds of games. Like the last guy in is the one that gets the pot. And so if the last guy forgets to claim and it's lost its hype cycle because it's been 2 or 3 years down the road, then that's kind of like having lost seed words or lost hardware wallet, or, I sent the keys to a burn address. It's just removing supply in their view. Like it's not in contract. It's not dissolving because it's in contract that's expiring or, fading away, that you're losing 2% per week or whatever. It is simply lost token. So I don't think that's Richard's goal, but of course that can have an economic impact, just like the idea of there's only 17 or 18 million Bitcoin that could possibly be accessed or something, Mm-hmm. So it's a hard thing for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the position he's in, it's best for him to err on the side of caution on everything and just, do what he does and blast on it. But, the rest of us, we're the community. We're the ones that are supposed to be out there doing the work. And this is, that's what the community work is going out there and trying to protect one another and support one another and lift one another up versus trying to tear each other down. And when people are doing work, give them that benefit of the doubt first and let them speak their piece. So yeah, good on you, man. So what else has been going on? What you been up to? I know you just got done doing a lot of traveling, right?
Oh, I'm always traveling. I've got property in different countries, and it's all this compliance stuff also about resident visas. Like I made tweets 4 or 5 months ago about if you believe that the bear is forever and you're going to, lose all your money and everything, whether it's stock or crypto or real estate, and doom is on the horizon, doesn't matter. Like, don't plan. But if you believe that these things come in cycles, you probably should look at things that you and I both have looked at, which is your financial well-being outside of just the crypto things in your wallet. What's your liability, what's your risk profile in general. To me, it is better. And it's been something I've been interested in long before crypto ever entered my life. I mean, I think I was looking at this kind of become an expat or live in a different country kind of stuff for 15 years, 20 years. Maybe my first attempt at it was when I was 30. I moved to Dominican Republic for about 3 months, and I was going to go through the whole legal process. And I was like, because I was at a position that I could retire basically in a very cheap country. And I was at a nice house and on the beach and kite surfers and stuff like that in the front yard. And I was so bored, and I was 31 years old. It was crazy, 31 years old. And I was like, there's no big city around. Everything I got to do is, 45 minutes to get to the airport and then go travel anyway. And then you're just going to blow like I had this fantasy that I could retire at 31, and I could, but only in third world country places.
Yeah. You did the math on that, right? As long as you lived in a third world country, you were good, right?
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about that. I've visited a lot of third world countries. I've played and partied in a lot of third world countries and had great times, and seen some amazing things and met some amazing people. But when it comes to day-to-day life, especially, a person like me, you have to look at your living situation, your life situation. And it's just, although I'd love to live abroad and go out there and enjoy all that, it's just, when you've got a couple of kids and a wife in tow, it just doesn't work out. It's like, I got to Puerto Rico looking for that as a solution. And it was like, oh, wait a second, you guys are going to be with me, right? Oh, yeah, this might not work too good. And so, and they said the same thing. They were like,
shock.
Wait, California or here, San Juan, Puerto Rico. You know what, Dad? So it's not that easy to just pick up stakes and go live like a nomad. Some people can, some people can't. And then you've got to, once you do it, then there's a lot of consequences too. Like just today, I was filling out what we call a DROS out here for a handgun. And it says right there, have you ever renounced your citizenship? And I was like, wow, that's the Second Amendment stuff, and your guns are gone after that. Once you've gone, but based on what the other country allows or doesn't allow or whatever. So there's just like little things like that you got to think about, going out to another country or living abroad.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from obviously a different lens. I've told you before, and I've lived 4 different lives, just about 10 chapters. And now, like, I don't have kids, I don't have family. My relatives are quite old, so if they survive a few more years, I'd be happy. But it's just not logistically a lot of things I have to have on my mind other than myself. And I do care about this community. Like, there's Richard comments about the early Bitcoiners that later became the early Ethereum people that later became whatever else becomes successful in the crypto space. There'll be a couple of years of participation and enthusiasm. And then it's basically either for risk and security profile that they fade out, they fade back because now they're worth something, right? Or they just get frustrated by like the politics or the noob experience and the cycle drama and all the stuff like that goes on. It just takes a wear on you, right? So I'm in a position where I care about this community. I plan to participate, publicly. You can see on my profile, I'm doxed myself. I'm out there, Gary Woods, all the stuff, right? And I want to go to events like. I spent some time in Singapore the past couple of months, and Singapore is amazing. Great economic base, fantastic security, the most incredibly clean place I've ever been in my entire life. Not a single cracked tile. I couldn't find a blemish, and I'm walking under bridges and underpasses looking for any kind of blemish. I couldn't find anything. It was just amazing.
Wow.
And then there's other places I wouldn't spend a significant chunk of my time, but obviously in this crypto realm, there's a lot of people have money and influence that are in Dubai. So spend more time in Dubai, more time in places where this economic like casino of cryptocurrency really seems to move the charts. And that is like Switzerland and places like that. Now, I don't like to be there too long because I'm a cheap bastard and those places are expensive. So
especially how you live.
Yeah.
You live in penthouses and calling taxi cabs and, and all that good stuff and running around eating, $1,800 dinners.
I got ramen on the stove right now, dude. It is ramen and some rice.
Oh, that's a long way. I often tell that story about the dinner you and I had with Ken McElroy and our doctor. The 4 of us went into this private room and we just said, the chef said, "Hey, we'd like to surprise you and do this thing for you." And we were like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And we got this A512 Wagyu steak that was like, when they started serving us all the stuff, we're like, okay, yeah, we're eating. And then the steak comes out, right? And I'm like, okay, the steak comes out and they set it down. I'm like, okay, well, that's mine. And they're like,
No,
that's everybody's. And I was like, wait a minute. I eat a steak twice that big when I sit down for a steak. And they had this little hibachi thing with smoke coming out of it with this steak it wasn't but like that big, right?
Yeah.
And it was $1,800 steak for that. It was like that big. And and we each got like a couple, but that's all you could eat was a couple slices. It was so rich. I mean, it was just like insane. But it wasn't even like
and again, it's part of that, like the social positioning. And I want the audience to understand that you and I both come from humble means. And and I know that I've walked the cycle. And I'm pretty sure that you've walked the cycle of being dirt poor, living in my car, to being very well off. And I've gone through that cycle a few times. And so like that event with Ken, that was an investment. Yeah, it was a social memory. It was a little bit of bonding and things like that with someone of influence, both her, which is Nicole Shudnicki, and Ken, and some camaraderie between you and I, like, some edification back and forth. Like these are all like interpersonal skills that I think that the real leaders inside of Hex and Pulse and PulseX, that they already some degree have and can polish and can pass on to next generations. Yes. So like there's a lot to that. It was an expensive dinner. I think the four of us was like $1,400 or something, but it was an investment into like an interpersonal networking skill workshop. That's the way I like to look at it.
100%. And that's the kind of thing that Hexicans going to need to be doing in the crypto space as we move forward, as DeFi starts to take over. I think this next bull run is going to be very significant in crypto, and how things are going to change and how things are going to look with regulatory bodies looking at crypto very tight. And with all that's gone on and everything that could be coming in the future, and what DeFi is doing, what Hex is doing, and the concepts that have been proven. I mean, it's just going to be, I think crypto is going to look completely different after the next, say, a year or two. It's going to have a real different look to it. And what's funny is that a lot of Richard Hart's protocols, concepts, whatever you want to call them, are going to be standard. Like right now, they're all saying, self-custody is the big deal now. Self-custody. Richard was screaming about that 3-4 years ago. Yeah. Self-custody, get out of those things, get out of those exchanges. And now they're finally going, oh, well, self-custody should be the way. I mean, all the money that's pouring out of the exchanges and going into just, wallets now is huge. It's a big numbers going right now. Billions are being taken out of these exchanges.
Oh yeah. And again, it is going to be that if they're going to survive, whether it's one company that stays alive or just the reiteration of the same, pitch comes around, a new DEX, a new centralized exchange or something, they're going to have to make it sexy, and they're going to have their marketing. They have to make appeal. And it's going to be, instead of Celsius giving you 6%, it's going to be whatever that other company in the future offers, some other, oh no, we're regulated. We've got proof of funds here. You can see it because we put it on Excel. Like, we'll just send you a copy.
Yeah. And how much of that is going to be vetted? Like right now you're starting to see them announce that, oh yeah, we have this much in reserves, and this is what's being shown. It's like, okay, well, how much of that is smoke being blown up people's skirts, right? Yeah. Because there's still no regulatory body. They can report and say whatever they want, but there's still no reg on it. So it's like, okay, well, let's be the first to get out in front of this and say, we got money.
I can't remember the change, but it was right before Binance had put their proof of funds. It was right after the SBF thing. And some of these other exchanges were starting to say, oh no, we've got money. Like, here's our proof.
Here it is on an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, we're going to release it, to the investors and whatever with their Excel. But some of them, they sent like, here's the transaction. But it came from a dark wallet. You can't see anything, probably tumbled like a tornado or whatever it is, but something, it's blocked off. You can't see where it came from. And then they show the proof of funds that it's in this address. See, we can prove that we've got these billions of dollars.
Yeah. Who has those keys to that address?
Yeah. And it didn't exist in that wallet, 4 hours ago. Like, it moved in.
Yeah. It was a brand new wallet. I
And if
saw
you
that
have
too.
here's the thing is, if you have the trust that, okay, they either asked somebody or they actually had the money and then they moved it to something public so people could see it. And, within 4 hours, billions of dollars of quote unquote liquidity available to make you not feel so nervous. Well, you know how easy it is to move it to another address that is or isn't in their control? Like, it doesn't give me more sense of security that they can move that shit so fast anyway. Like, I would rather have millions of people with, $10,000 worth of crypto than I would rather have, that number pooled up in 3 or 4 central exchanges.
Yeah. And then by the time that article comes out or whatever that publication comes out, the wallet could be emptied before that even hits the freaking, the media. So yeah, it's caution again.
The Quadriga guy. You remember that comment? That guy came back alive this past week. Like he got burnt to ashes, and he had cholera, some stomach problem because of his veganism, and he went to Africa to volunteer as a mission, and then suddenly, while he's there, $180 million of Quadriga goes missing.
And then he dies.
And he's burnt into ashes, and his fiance's like, "Where's my fiance? Like, what happened? Oh no, we just needed to make him ashes within 6 hours of death."
See, here they are.
Yeah, and it's funny because
what's that cigarette butt doing in there? Oh, never mind that.
During all of the bear, which is still going on right now, even though there's this pump, none of the Quadriga, because it was being scrutinized, right? None of the Quadriga money moved. They said, oh, he's the only guy that had the keys and must have died with him. $180 million of other people's money, right? And then this past week, they're like, uh-oh. It looks like we let that guy go because that money's moving.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden, right? Oh,
Cryptopia. Geez. Those people are going to come back.
Yeah, this space is just full. There is so many of them, man. So it was so easy. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. Every game has been played, and they're still playing. And it was just fertile ground for scam and scum to just show up, and thank God for Richard coming in and making things right, and I'm just glad that he's the guy that lived up to his word. He said, hey, I'm going to make this thing, and here it is, and it's going to be good, and it's right, and it's just, and you're not going to have to worry, and you don't see that in this space where people actually say what they or do what they say, and even the promise coin guys who aren't necessarily crooks or rug pullers, but have never delivered anything. We still got those guys, and they're revered. Oh, they haven't scammed anybody, but they haven't done anything either. And they're like, oh, those are the guys they hold up on a freaking pedestal. They suck, but they haven't scammed anybody. What a high bar, huh?
It's the challenge of, again, it's the meme that pushes or the narrative that pushes just about anything that's intangible. Like if I want the rain not to be on me, I need a roof. Like you can't bullshit me that the rain is still hitting me. If I'm hungry, I've got to have food in my belly, things like that. So this whole intangible value, subjective narrative thing, some of it's mathematical, and math is where you should put your trust. Some of it is, no, this guy, Justin Bieber just bought it, and he must have had his lawyer team look at it, his brand. It's even when it comes to Elvis Presley's hair, if you're like, oh yeah, that shit's got to be worth something. Like what?
Well, I mean, yeah.
We live in such a weird world, man.
We do, man. We do. I mean, the OnlyFans thing and it's like every girl's got their OnlyFans now, so they can make some side money. And I mean, it's just like, what is going on around here, man? This is
funny because bros got crypto, girls got OnlyFans. But when you're rich, ridiculously fast, or lose all your shit.
Well, I'm glad I don't have to participate. That's for sure.
So where are you on the 3 RH things. It was funny, Hexo, I saw that someone retweeted some 30-second snippet about, oh yeah, you don't know anything. Oh, this guy's gonna talk. Oh yeah, like the whole thing. Did you see his tweet recently? Someone tweeted.
No,
So
I
Hexo
missed
had a
it.
show, and he was talking about basically the same routine that we go over for years. Like what's happening in PulseChain. Oh, I think this is when it's going to come out. Oh, how do you know that? Oh, it's just a guess. It's like, oh, you don't know anything either. No, I don't know anything either. Like,
no, and that's what all my conversations are with everybody. It's like, hey, so how's it going? Same. Yeah. No, any news to report? Like, what the fuck news do I got? I don't know Richard any better than any of you.
See if Richard spammed me.
Yeah, let me check my email or my empty Telegram. Maybe some of the devs sent me a Telegram message. No,
and
man,
it is one of these things. Like again, they get attention, but I had a little bit of a thing with HVid or something like that. Like she gets ruffled every so often. She'll have a ruffle. She'll be very positive and engaging, and she'll get Charles Hoskinson and this Richard Hart thing. I tried a lot with Tate and his group to get with Richard and so forth. So like we make these efforts. Obviously, all these different influential people that you met, like we make these efforts. And then Kiyosaki comes on Ken's show, and I was like, motherfucker. So, but what I'm getting at is, it is some of this thing is like what they've been doing recently is if they show a screenshot of GitLab or GitHub, and they say, here's what I think's happening. Okay, that's fine. But when they say it's coming any day, it's going to be, Richard said 3 days from now, like I get annoyed over that stuff because that's not what Richard said. So I'm careful with like the language,
Let me address this because I don't want to get panties ruffled. And these are real panties being ruffled here because it's Hexy Quinn's, unless she's not wearing any. I don't know. But no. I didn't say that. He added that to it. I simply said that there's a lot of these girls have OnlyFans now, or most of them have OnlyFans, and then
I'm gonna feel a little.
They have crypto also, and guys have OnlyFans too. I got one. I'm not gonna let you guys know where it's at, but I've got one. I'm cashing in on it too. I need to buy some cheap hacks, and I need a better way to get some money.
So remember years ago when I was like, hey, you need to grab all the URLs, like I was talking about with Pulse, what is this? PulseChain Media? Yeah. So I said, get all the URLs, right? Even if you're never going to use them, you should still get them because it helps the SEO. So onlyfans.com/funding gem. I grabbed that shit 3 years ago. Like got a banner there.
No wonder I couldn't get it.
There's no like enticement. There's no engagement, but you never know. Like the website might become a telephone company 3 years from now because some of these tech companies pivot, So I was like, let me just grab it.
Good on you. Oh man. Well, hey, it's the oldest profession and the entrepreneurial spirit of human beings that's making it all possible.
They said
technology.
They told you 20 years ago and me 20 years ago that 99% of the internet was porn. Now it's just a website like OnlyFans or something,
Yeah. Oh boy. So, what else has been going on that we can talk about? Been a lot of regulatory news coming out. I like to speak on that often. It's looking really good in the background from some of the chat rooms and some of the people that I talk to in back rooms about this stuff. They're liking what they're seeing with the SEC and how they're just getting pummeled like all the time. You name it, every angle they're getting smashed. Hold on a second. We got another guest here. Let me bring him up. This is a streamer, Mr. Crypto Compassion. What's happening?
What's up, brother? I don't think your voice is on.
I think you're muted. Not working.
Choose the mic, probably on his settings on StreamYard.
Yeah, go on StreamYard and make sure you got the right mic picked.
This guy looks like the guy from Pool Hall Junkies. It looks like Mars.
It looks like Mars.
Buddy, you know Mars, the guy we met in Vegas?
Yeah. The guy that tried to tried to get us. I've heard a lot of stuff about that gentleman.
Have you met Christopher Walken, Crypto Compassion? Are you in the show?
You're still muted, bro. Let me pull up. We've got another Hexican here. JFK, what's up, my brother? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I love this outfit, man. I gotta get this. This is awesome. I love it. I feel like meeting. Who's the guy? Who's Van Helsing. This is a very Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. All right.
Yeah,
Gary, you're always looking fresh though. When you come down and we're at a hotel or something, it's like, okay, we're going out, we're going to hang out, and we all come down, and then here comes Gary with some freaking loud, wild ass freaking shit. It's
funny because I'll be in an event. I was in an event. I asked Alex, who again has been, you probably know who he is. He's one of the biggest hex trolls a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. It's a tiny little channel, but it's Crypto Weekly Review. I've been retweeting his stuff a lot. But I said, hey, let's come down. Let me network you a little bit or whatever and introduce you to people. And he's like, are you serious? Like I was participating in his chats or something. And he flew from, way up north in the United States to come to this Vegas thing. And the first thing, like we walk into a room that was Michael Sartain was having a fundraiser for like rescue animals or something like that. And I brought Alex with me. We went to the event, and I've got my white kind of outfit or whatever. The first thing that I walked up, I saw Rollo Tomasi was there with people. Walked straight up to him, and he goes, "Leisure Suit Larry, that's awesome."
Leisure Suit Larry. Rollo, I just talked to Rollo just yesterday. We were on the gram talking.
I gotta say,
a meme, man. I mean, like you've got your brand, I've got my brand.
Right?
I've got to say, Jim, it's nice to meet you, but I had no idea you not only have an OnlyFans page, but you're Leisure Suit Larry in disguise.
Leisure Suit Larry in disguise.
I try to represent
quite a disguise.
Represent the niche.
It takes all sorts in the Hexican community.
What's up, JFK? What you been up to?
Not too much. Just doing a bit of work on some motorcycles.
Oh, what kind of bikes you work on?
I've got two. I got a Yamaha Warrior 1700 B-twin, and I've got an MV Augusta 1078.
Okay, so touring bikes?
No, the MV's a stupid sports bike. Italian, like a Ferrari. It's got the same heads as a Ferrari, and it sounds amazing.
Nice.
I've only lost my license once because of that. But,
nice. Yeah, I've sworn off two wheels. I had a lot of good days on two wheels, but I've given it up. That was one of the things. One of the pitfalls that could kill me, I took out of my my repertoire.
Captain, it's funny. I went through the same sort of journey the last 6 months, and thinking about, I've got lots of 555s to sort of see out. So, and there's a lot of idiots on the roads, and cars have got more and more distractions, screens to play with, and all those sorts of arguments. And I sort of come around full circle. It was all right before. And if you just forget about all that shit and enjoy life, it's a wonderful thing to do. Yeah, and I'm not riding as silly as I used to, because I'd like to think I'm not as silly as I used to be. But that's debatable. And but certainly with riding, and I'm really, really enjoying it again. So sometimes you can live too much in the future too, and you've got to live in the present as well.
Yeah, I agree. So that's just one of those things. I decided that, and going to the snow. No more on my list. Don't need it. There's too many beaches in the world to visit versus going up into the snow somewhere. So until I've seen every beach on the planet, I've sworn off the snow.
I did before get to the motorcycle thing. The closest thing I've done is scooters since I was like 18. And so you go to like in Bali, it's a scooter culture. You just go everywhere on a moped. Very cool to go. Great like villages and things like that. Very cool. I like that kind of stuff a little bit more than the adrenaline thing, maybe. But yeah, motorcycles always been around.
There's nothing like getting on a sport bike, though, man. Oh, I remember I had the first Hurricane that came out, the Honda Hurricane, when it came out, the 600. And man, that thing was just wicked in its day. That was like in 86. So that was a long time ago, but that was a
1100, Captain.
Yeah. Oh, that's when things started changing. That's when they started making the big bikes. When the Hurricane 1000 and the Katana came out, those were the big bikes back then. And now they're just, oh man.
Yeah, 95 horsepower.
When they came out, you would see them on in LA, like car chases all the time, like cop chases. You're like, oh yeah, there's another guy on a Katana. He's never going to catch him.
Yeah. A lot of those boys get dusted.
I mean, the Katana made 95 horsepower, and I think my MV makes, in standard form, and it's highly worked, makes about 170 horsepower. And it weighs like about 35 kilos less. So, you know, like,
I don't know if you've ever seen the
couple of decades difference in development.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of your ass ending at your face or your ass going through your face is all the difference of those two bikes are. Yeah. Because that's the last thing that goes through your mind is your ass when you crash one of those things.
Yeah. The thing about motorcycling is that, you know, that bike I've got now, the Italian sports bike, is much better than I'll ever be. And probably the number of times I've found its limits you can count on one hand after owning it for many years. And there's a lot to be said for having a small underpowered bike on a good road and thrashing the living hell out of it and finding its limits. You know, that's really fun too.
And when you can't get its limits, that's when I decided that it was time. When I got on that R1, that R1 for the first time, and I got on that son of a bitch, and I opened it up on PCH, I scared myself to death. I was like, this thing, and I didn't even give it all it had. It had more. And it was like,
I'll tell you something, Captain. That MV I've got, I mean, it's a 2009 model. So against the R1 of the day, between 60 kilometers an hour and 160, it was 2 seconds quicker than an R1.
Man.
And that was the R1 of the day. So it's orgasm material. You're just always accelerating and decelerating because it just sounds so loud. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, the last bike I had was a Harley. I made a drag bike out of it, and I had an extremely fast 80 cubic inch bike that I'd beat 110 Mercs all the time with it on the track. But something about that off-centered crank and, you know, doing 135 miles an hour with forward pegs and that thing just rattling with a hard mounted motor was just something special, man. Like I said, all the rocket bikes and jet bikes were fun, but that Harley, when it was doing 120, 130 miles an hour, was just insane because the freaking bolts were coming off of it. I'd have to tighten it up every time I pulled over because it was loosening everything up. It was rattling so hard. But man, what a blast that thing was. Chasing, you know, I was chasing sport bikes down on the freeway, and they're like, what the hell is this thing? What is he doing? This is a Harley chasing me down at 120, 130 miles an hour. That was crazy. But man, that was a lot of fun. But those were the last days.
All I'd say, Captain, is never say never. But
I think Compassions. Are you there?
You don't have to go at our age.
Oh yeah, I do.
For the machine, you can make the actual. You don't have to make the machine that is beyond your capability. Is to just enjoy it for what it is.
You know what I like is these new Enfields that came out. Have you seen the Royal Enfields?
Yeah.
They are
They're not
really
new. They're the original ones. They're actually
The
made.
reproduction.
well. What they did was they bought the old factory and the old dies, and they reinstated everything. And I think they're building them in India now. Is
Well, they did that with Indian motorcycle too. The same thing they bought. And,
Well,
That was
Indian
fire.
didn't really do the Indian thing. They used SS motors in their bikes, so they weren't really the Indian motorcycle. They bought the name and stuff, and then they didn't retool. They just bought the repop Harley motor, which was the SS motor. But Enfield did. They make those bikes just like they did back in the day, which is
They're made in India, Captain. They never stopped, even though the Royal Enfield factory died in Britain. The one they had in India never stopped making them.
Oh, I thought that they shut it down for a while, and then they brought it all back up, and recently, like
they're
last
actually
20
Indian-made.
years.
They're Indian-made motorcycles, and that factory never stopped producing. Where the one in England went broke and closed.
Yeah, they're really, really good looking
Pretty
bikes. They're pretty.
Yeah, and well, that's got 65, 70 horsepower.
Yeah,
And
they're
you'll
not
have
too bad.
fun- And you'll have fun thrashing the living crap out of that, like hitting the throttle stop constantly. It's fun, I can't do that on the stupid Italian sports bike,
No.
Not without losing my license very fast.
No. Oh, are you Compassion? Is your mic fixed yet? No, we still can't hear you.
How's your sign language, Compassion?
You might have to reboot, bro. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Start your browser over. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Captain,
sorry.
do you like my background? I've actually got the red hex bottom we're bouncing off of.
Is that the lava bottom there?
That's
Hey,
the lava
Das,
bottom.
put that video back up. I didn't know there was a video there. I thought it was just I thought that was just a thumbnail. Put it back up,
Did
Das.
you play the video? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I just saw that. Have you seen Keanu Reeves's motorcycle? Oh, okay. Here's the video.
He has a company, right? He has a motorcycle company.
Somebody, I think some gal like ran into his bike or something out there, and you can go see Keanu just about it. You just go down to Hollywood. I know a couple of spots he hangs out all the time, but yeah, he's. Let's see here.
You're a Hex kid. Yep.
Looks.
You invested. Yep. How'd you find Richard? YouTube. Sweet. Where do you think Pulse is coming out? I don't know. 2 months. It's going to be great. Yep. It is going to be great. I can't wait. I can't wait either. Okay. All right. So you've been in Hex for a long time. Yep. What were those days like? Crazy. It was crazy. Wow. When do you think Hex will pump again? Boy, I don't know. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Oh, next bull market, the Fed interest rates. Wow, that's great. That's great. You don't know anything? You're like, I don't? Yeah, I don't know anything. You don't know anything? Yeah, we both don't know anything. We're just guys on the internet that are just talking. Yeah, that's us. All right, cool. Let's do this for an hour and make people watch. Let's make people watch this.
Dude, that is the best. That is the best.
He is the best.
Yeah.
He is the best. I think Richard had sticky notes on his picture on his face.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know it's been a while when the lovable teddy bear is frustrated over how long it takes. You're like, come on.
I've never seen a teddy bear give fellatio to a microphone before.
It's so funny. Like when I met him, I never would have thought he had school tattoos and hardcore like machine guns and stuff like that. I was like, damn, don't even make me think that way. Like when I see you on TV.
He was a Marine, kinda. He was a machine gunner, so he was kinda,
Can you imagine? I mean, again, not to go so dark, but there's scenes where I just imagine like a helicopter gunner, or like, yeah, that's hexologist. Like, no.
Just mowing everything down.
Oh, I got so
freaking
awful.
Old ladies, children,
Carnage.
Just.
Now, there's a good idea for a meme. Put Hexo as Rambo.
So, I think it's full.
You can have all the action scenes and all the furus going down. So, yeah. I could see Hexo as Rambo.
He's back. He's back. He streams like, I don't know, like every day, but he had like 555 days he was going to do. I don't know if he's keeping that up. He just pops on every so often.
He got pissed and left for a little bit. Now he's
like,
back.
screw that. I'm out.
Richard won't
You go build your own battery.
PulseChain.
Build your own stuff.
It was a bit to do with the SEC too, wasn't it?
Just burnout. Like, I mean, that too, that was another thing, but like all of us go through phases of burnout where I'll do the same thing. All of us will. We're like, nah, screw that. I'm going to do my other stuff for a while.
Yeah.
Just come back charged.
Yeah. I mean, I just keep doing what I'm doing. I've never had to really say anything before, so I don't say anything any different now. You know, it's just more useless information. There we go. We got you. You got your sound now?
I hope so.
There you go. We got sound. How you doing?
Big
Compassion?
deal.
We're doing good. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, man. What's been
We're
going
back.
on?
Yeah. No. All in all, I'm very excited.
Good. When's Hex gonna pump? When's PulseChain coming out?
I don't know nothing. Like, I don't know nothing.
Play the clip again.
Play it.
When are we going back
play-
over 3 cents?
Yeah, play it back in.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's a good one. We're not gonna go there, but I am excited. We'll say that much, right?
It's been exciting for a long time. The excitement's killing me.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that. I'm very excited about beyond what Hex and PulseChain is. I'm very excited about your position as far as RG3 and Funny Jam. I appreciate you guys. You guys are.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, you know, seriously.
Thanks. I just like to say that we're the guys that just push the button first. That's it.
Yep.
So Compassion, what are your plans to do with all your wealth when it happens? There's a different question that Hexo didn't ask.
No. I think we got big problems and we need to provide pretty big solutions, right? You know, and it goes beyond crypto, right? We got a lot of big problems in the world, and we need to provide a lot of solutions. Yeah. So, and that's where when we come together as Hexicans and PulseChains and all that kind of stuff, we can kind of create a VC, if you will, of solutions to the world. We're in a blessed position. We really are. Yeah.
I believe you're correct.
Yep.
To whom much is given, much is expected.
Yep. Exactly.
Thank you, Zen Captain.
Yes.
You know, and what's cool is we have so many different types of Hexicans that are going to be wealthy that they can go out and, you know, take care of their passions, take care of the people they want to take care of and the problems that they want to take care of. So we'll have a lot of diversity of people going out there and being philanthropists. I guess when people are talking about lots of money, that's one of the things that comes up is philanthropy. But what's cool about that is the more people you help and the more people you give to, the byproduct of that is you end up being able to live free, you know, and that's a real cool thing. And I've seen it in lots of places. I've seen a lot of people give a lot away and they just seem to get more and more and more. And it's a byproduct of being generous.
Yeah, it's a positive feedback loop. It really is. Yeah.
I'm not sure, guys.
It comes not just the giving, not just especially if it's a resource and it's giving it versus teaching. I get a lot more out of teaching and from learning. Like I learn from people all the time in this community, all the time, constantly. Yeah. And I think that's the best value that we can either give or receive in this. Of course, money matters, but still, that's the perk of it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really interesting, actually. I was just expanding on your comment about diversity, Captain, that there are so many Hexicans are big enough in number and there'll be a diverse enough thing that it's going to be interesting when people might get at purposes too. People back different horses, if you will, with their philanthropy. I mean, it's going to be a fairly chaotic sort of process, I imagine, other than things like that draw everyone together, like the longevity research. And I think in time that when the majority, I mean, there'll be a sort of democratization of these efforts, these, you know, what people contribute to. So I think it's going to be an organic system within the Hex ecosystem in itself. I mean, there'll be some people who won't be contributing in philanthropy at all. So it'll be limited to that subsection of the Hex community as well. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. An interesting time to watch.
I'm going to, I just thought of something. I'm going to give to the homeless, drug addicted, ex OnlyFans gals. I think that's what I'm going to go after.
It was going path of philanthropy. Well,
I'll open up
of whom much is given, much is expected.
I'll go buy a big hotel and I'll put them all up in there, and we'll get video cameras for them and everything. We'll put them back to work.
Hey, Tate.
I could go so many places with that, Captain, but I won't. I just won't.
We can blame the Fed, though. The Fed says that they're going to bring unemployment up this coming year. So, you know, everybody better start on the fans.
Yeah. Mine's fired up. Mine's ready to go. What you doing there?
Oh, sorry.
Zooming in.
So,
Just playing with the light.
hey, thank you, Paul Bird, for the 1555. Smash the like button. Love all you guys and gals. Yep, much love for the Hexicans. Much love for the Hexicans. Give to the timed out folks. Okay, Dorsey, you got it. You got it. So what else is it that we can not talk about or be bored to death about? It's been tough streaming these last few months. That is for sure. Continuing to stream during the maybe market is really difficult, and especially when you don't want to talk about all the other things out there.
Oh, sorry, Captain.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
I was going to shout out to the younger guys. Well, there's a lot of younger guys than me, but the younger guy, the newer streamers like RH Max and Sloth and all that, and they've been really taking the baton. And as you said, in hard times, so it augurs well. I wish those guys every success because they've earned it.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. All the new streamers have been, I called it. I said there's going to be better streamers, and here they all are. Definitely, for sure.
You get the streamers you deserve.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of streamers of the past, I don't want to say anything, but if you guys can all put some thoughts together, or even drop a note and wish our old buddy Nagabo some well wishes. He can use them right now. He could use them.
Is there a particular thing, or is he still anonymous about why we're? He's a good guy. I've been in Vegas, but
we've had some health issues, and he's definitely needing some cheering up.
Yeah. When I met him, I think it was in Vegas. I think he had recovered from his heart attack. He had a heart attack.
Yeah.
A year ago. So yeah, health wise.
Yeah. So he's been getting hammered, but he's still good.
So if he's going to use sign language, or maybe you can type in the private chat. Crypto Compassion, do you have a channel? I see your banner in the background. I haven't been looking for new streamers. Are you streaming somewhere? Oh, maybe
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah. I was streaming quite a bit about 6 months ago. I'm thinking about doing more live streams here going forward, but in regards to crypto, real estate, self-development, that kind of stuff. I think we in the Hex PulseChain ecosystem, we need to start thinking about holistic approach to everything we do. Yeah.
That's good. It's
All right.
I think our G3's kind of gone that holistic route for a bit.
Yeah, no, I'm still going it. It's I've been feeling great. They got me on some good supplements, and been taking care of my neck and my back. Got a therapist that takes care of my back and my neck every week, and I haven't had to go in for that surgery they've been wanting me to go in for. So I'm doing real good.
Good.
Hitting the gym. Getting on Monday, I go on another weight loss journey. I don't know if you guys know Ryan Hefner. He used to do a show here on Discourse Syndicate, health show, and the method of fitness, or the gosh, why do I always forget the name of his show? I have never been able to remember the name of his show, but anyway, it's the method of fitness. MOF.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah.
And on Monday, he's dropping my calories down and go on another weight loss journey. So I went from 218 all the way down to 177. And then what he does is he raises your calories back up so that you stop losing weight, but you're not gaining weight. Tries to get you to 3,000 calories and no weight gain. So it's called reverse dieting. So I go back down on the reverse diet on Monday and should drop all the way down into the 170s, 160s again. So yeah, it's been a journey. I feel great though. I feel great.
You must enjoy those calorie bumps when they come.
What's that?
You must enjoy the bumps, the increase in calories when they come.
Yeah. Whoa. And how they're a treat, but it's like, when you're dieting, you're eating good like that. And the increase is like, okay, you get another 150 calories this week. It's like, that's an apple, right? It's like, you're not really adding a whole bunch, but and so, but as you get closer and closer to the 2,800, it starts getting harder and harder to actually eat the calories. It's crazy. When you're eating good food, it's hard to put a lot of calories in. I mean, you can go to a freaking fast food place, and there it is. Mindset of Fitness. Gosh dang it, Brian's gonna kill me. I mean, I talk to the guy every day, and I still can't remember the name of the show. But it's easy to go to a burger joint and put down a whole 2,000 calories in one meal, like a double cheeseburger, some fries, and a milkshake. You're looking close to a couple thousand calories right there. And and that's what I have all day long. So it's when you're eating good food, it's harder to get those calories to stretch out to that 2,800 calories, 3,000 calories versus going into a fast food place and just killing. I mean, there's some salads out there that are like 1,800 calories. Like, I've seen them, like, holy shit, 1,800 calories for a salad. Damn. So anyway, but yeah, it's the health journey has been an awesome. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Some carne asada French fries, man. Those are,
and you can't eat for 48 hours after having that.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd take 2 days worth of food to eat in one sitting. What the hell, Toby? Want documentary getting released this year? Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and play that, Das. So that's our hopes is that it's going to get released this year. Were you going to pull up a video? There we go. I thought you had a video ready. Or official premiere and distribution. We don't know where the premiere is going to be yet. But yeah, that's the movie, the Highest of Stakes webpage. They are.
So you're saying you know nothing?
I do know stuff. Yeah. I do know stuff, but
don't be a
You know if it's
hexer.
going to
like
any of the-
kinetics.
Give us a little tease.
Is it? Do you know if Patrick or any of them are going to any of these film festivals, or is it just for a closing sale that they're looking for? Like, are
No,
they doing it anywhere?
Yeah, they're getting there. They're rounding all the bases. So yeah, there's certain things that they have to do in order to get into certain awards categories and stuff. So they're doing all that.
Well, they have the Sundance one. I know that's the Robert Redford originated one, the big one. I am actually going with some of Jason Hartman's friends to the Cannes Film Festival in France.
Leisure Suit Larry's dropping names now.
Yeah. Well, he knows Jason. He's met Jason.
Yeah. Don't they have something going on in Arizona this month? In February,
yeah, I mean, there's a circuit. I know that whether it's a documentary type film, which ones that they want to hit in order to basically up the value of the film to be sold for mass distribution. So I'm sure that Patrick's doing all those circuits, but like the Cannes one or whatever, however you say it, is supposed to be like mainstream theater stuff. I don't think that that's what you guys are targeting. You're targeting more of like platforms like Netflix or
streaming platforms,
and things like that, right?
Yeah, it's a streaming platform. I mean, obviously it's for sale wherever it can be distributed, but no, I was actually asking about Jason Hartman's clan and the Kiyosaki group folks. Aren't they having something in February here in Arizona?
Yeah, they always do it in Scottsdale, because there's a lot of them that own property there, and that's where Ken and Kiyosaki spend most of their time, majority of their business time. So yeah, I'm sure that they're doing something there. I didn't read. I during the bear, like I did it for the full circle, the first cycle, which was 4 events. But when mine expired and my membership expired in like October, I was like, okay, I'm going to save money for this bull. It's coming. So.
Yeah, I'd like to participate again in the next one.
Yeah,
and get with
I would
those
too.
good people, man.
Yeah.
And just the networking there is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met some really good friends out of that group of people, and actually some of the bigger investor real estate investor class folks have invited me out to Louisiana next month or March to go speak to a group of folks out there about Hex and whatnot. So I'm going to go out there and do that. So some good people, man. Really, really good people.
One of the more recent ones I made really good friends with. I didn't realize he has a massive real estate portfolio across like Idaho and other states, but he is actually an Act 2022 guy. So he lives in Puerto Rico 6 months of the year, and his business operates in the States. And I introduced him to Motley and attendees and things like that at dinner a couple times, maybe once, at least one time, maybe twice. But yeah, it's a great network. If you're doing anything to do with rotating in or out of real estate or in and out of these, it's not really a stock market group at all. It's not bonds. They'll talk macroeconomics just because Georgia's topics tend to say, here's what the Fed is doing and so forth. But mostly it's real estate pool. So
yeah, mostly, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
Prime the pumps during the bear, man. I don't think me personally, this is not financial advice, none of that stuff like that. This is just where I'm going to bet my time is I think that this potentially is set up for a super cycle. And I say that because there's 3 things that are very close to synchronized. One is the Fed's position. They have publicly said, one, that they wanted to tame inflation, although they created the inflation. So it's like, don't look at what I did, but here I'm going to fix the problem. And this narrative has been that there would be 3 steps or 3 phases to their pivot. So the Fed is supposed to have another meeting. On that next meeting, if the CPI, which I think the numbers came out pretty good recently, and so forth, all of the numbers are there. It doesn't mean that they wouldn't continue to increase federal funds rate. This means that they would slow down maybe the acceleration, but they do have a target of a few things. not just the inflation rate. They have a target of unemployment. They actually want to bring employment down and have unemployment target of around 5% of the population. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
But that also brings prices down on not just assets, but wages and things like that, because there's more competition looking for a job, then the rates of a lot of these things can be tamed. So that's one thing, is what is the Fed doing? And if they hold true to what some of the metrics are pointing toward, then it would indicate that around September or October would be potentially the end of their pause, which is mean no rate change. And even Richard on the conference had said similar things when he was being asked about these things. So around September, October, potentially could be the Fed pivot to start to bring rates down, not dramatically, but still when the gates open, a lot of, easy money, heroin hit, it doesn't cost anything to gamble, which is basically Wall Street, will have access to capital at cheaper rates. So that's one thing. The second thing is the Bitcoin halving is around March of next year. And so if that's March, if you look at the charts of 3 cycles worth of halvings, as far as Bitcoin being the reference point that a lot of traders look at, they simply look at the same chart. So they tend to do the similar things, and it tends to push the price. So if you look at Bitcoin's charts around halving, between 6 months prior to halving to around 3 months, there's a climb. And the climb is climbing up because more people are talking about halving, more influencers are saying halving, more Google searches are what does halving mean? And then that tends to impact the price. Then typically there's a dip right after the sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the news event. So there's a dip. And then there's usually at least 3 times there has been this climb in speculative value on what is a Bitcoin. So that's Fed around September or October. That's also the beginning of the ramp to what potential Bitcoin might present when it's in mass media and people just hearing the word and what is Ethereum and what is PulseChain and what is Hex and all these other narratives. So that's great as far as those 2 cycles. And then the third cycle that's overlaid on top of all of those things is a presidential election. In the presidential election, if you are in your first term, and a lot of people, I don't know that there's many people that even on one party say, man, this is the best president ever. But if they basically have pain in 23, unemployment in 23, your house and your stock value got crushed because of the Fed policies in 23. But the pivot begins in September of 23, leading to lower inflation. Your assets are going up in value because the printing press turns on. The narrative of propaganda, marketing, vote me into office again kind of thing comes around to where 24 could be fireworks, because it's 3 cycles overlaid on top of each other. So it's very interesting. And the timing of whether it's PulseChain comes out, or not, this week or months or however long, the narrative as far as that goes is to start to show charts. Hopefully the charts would begin before around May or so. The idea around May, obviously people talk about is it the Uniswap V3 single side, liquidity providing? Can you build that into the PulseX thing or not? Whatever, right? Although there shouldn't be a delay, like Richard has said, or some developers have said that there shouldn't be a necessary delay for either Shanghai, which is the iteration of Ethereum's upgrade, or whether it's Uniswap V3 license becoming available late April into May. So basically, if there is a around May-ish launch of all these things after testnet hypes and all these other things too, then you can have actual charts. You can say what is going on at the same time that Fed pivot, at the same time that Bitcoin ramping, at the same time that presidential election. So the following 18 months, if you are looking at where you're at, that's why I think, and I comment often, that you should consider what your taxation is, what your safety is. Now in the bear, when your assets have very low value, is the best time to reposition them either into a trust or a company, or basically change your state or, have held more than a year as far as capital gains, short-term, long-term. There's just a lot of logistics that you should be handling pretty much now. Like that's the stuff of bears to be done.
And there's one more little piece of the cycle that I see playing out too is if we have this second dip that we're supposed to have here, people are saying this is a trap, a bull trap. And if it pans out that way, the dip is going to be so significant, in my guess, that people are going to see the super cycle starting or getting ready or setting up, and cheap prices. So there's going to be a very small window of the bottom here, I think, once the bottom does tap. And it's just going to be fast. It's going to be a fast, low bottom. And then boom, we'll start seeing the cycle starting. And I think it'll start with crypto starting to be bought up and people starting to move into the crypto space.
First out.
Yep. It's just, it's compounding. Everything is compounding on top of each other right now. And it is setting up for a super cycle.
Yeah.
I like the appraisal.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that's why I haven't been discouraged one little bit with all of this.
No.
Losing 90% of your value is not fun. Like, not fun at all. But it's coming back. You know that it's all paper. It's paper losses and paper gains, and if you can put that in your head, because I get a lot of people that call me and they're just freaking upset. They're upset about this. And a lot of them aren't crypto people. They're people that I onboarded or whatever. And they're just like, well, that's it. It's done. It's over with, right? I've lost everything. It's gone. There's nothing there, It was 34 cents when I got in. What's the matter, man? What's going on here with this script? It's dead, right? Can I save a few bucks here and at least cash this stuff out? Like, just stand by. Just wait. Don't worry. Don't get yourself all bunched up. It's going to change. It's just not yet. Just got to wait. And, that's what we do here. In crypto, we just have to wait. We have to wait the cycles. No matter how long or short they are, we just have to wait them out. And those are the people that survive and do well. It's taken me a couple of cycles to get to where I'm at right now. And if this is your first cycle, just imagine it's going to take you a couple of cycles to get right. That's what it's going to take, as long as you don't screw it up and sell at the bottom. As long as you don't sell at the bottom. Oh, one thing I wanted to say real quick that Toby wanted to put up. That was the highest of stakes box edition. If you didn't see it, let me see if I can pull it back up one more time here. Limited edition. There it is. It's limited edition, the highest of stakes, THOS. That's where you can get your own copy of the limited edition video box set, I guess they call it. And of course, you're not going to get it right yet, but you can go purchase those on the website. I bought a bunch of them for friends and family.
Christmas is sorted.
Yep. Next Christmas. There it is. There's the official. So you're going to get the DVDs. Don't know how you're going to play them. Nobody probably has a DVD player anymore. You get a cool box set. You're going to get the album. And if you flip that album over, one of the songs on there is mine. It's I actually have Enter the Pirate, I think it's called. So I have my own song now. Very, very freaking cool. Yep. There it is. Right there. It should show you on that picture. Tells you the names of the. Yeah. Let's see. Buy the effing dip. Yep. So you get an album too with all the songs on it. And not too many people have record players either anymore. So it's a very nostalgic box set. I guess how do you sell a box set anymore? You send them a thumb drive or something?
NFT.
Absolutely terrible with math, but especially on a stream. But did you guys see the tweet? Maybe it was like a month ago or something like that. And someone was explaining this idea of bringing your average down as far as your DCA average. If you put in, I was just running the math to make sure of it. So if you had put in $1,000 at 50 cents and you had put in $1,000 at 2.5 cents, what is your average per hex? Does anybody know what that number might be? At $1,000 for 50-cent hex would be 2,000 hex. And then if you take $1,000 at 2.5 cents per hex, that's 40,000 hex. So that's 42,000 hex for $2,000. And what do you think that cost per hex is at that point? Just
you take the 2.5 cents off of your.
Yeah. So don't do the math on your computer. Tell me what your gut tells you. What's your gut tell you? If you put in at 50 cents and you put in at 2.5 cents, $1,000 each time. So you got $2,000 on the table. What is your cost per hex?
Somewhere around 18 cents, I would imagine. Somewhere around there.
That seems like a great gut reaction. What about you, Crypto Compassion? What do you think?
50 cents.
What'd you say?
15.
So he says 15. What do you say down there, Van Helsing?
Well,
your gut. What's your gut tell you?
Larry, I'd say using the averages, I would have gone about 24. But
okay.
I'm about to be surprised.
It's probably like 8 or 9 cents, I would bet.
So when RG was telling his, so you could do the number. That was the tweet. But the number I just told you, if you put $1,000 at 50 cents, that's 2,000 hex. If you put $1,000 at 2.5 cents, that's 40,000 hex. So the two put together is 42,000 hex. And then that was $2,000 to buy 42,000 hex. That means that your cost per hex is now under 5 cents. It's 4.7 cents.
Wow.
So you can feel like you've lost out because you put money in when it was at its high. You can be like, man, I'm not going to do it again because I don't want to lose that money right at 2.5 cents. But that brings your average to very close to 2.5 at 4.7.
That's nice.
And you said you're not good at maths.
I'm not. I had to do it all while you guys were talking about crappy. I mean, I'm good by myself, but not like on camera.
I can't do it anyway. I couldn't do it in a quiet room with a foot massage going on at the same time. It just wouldn't happen. But
it'd be nice if people do get this heat. I get it all the time. This is, oh man, like I onboarded people even from our group that was 17 cent, 18 cent hex. I think that's where their entries were. And then they bought in really big at 4 cents, 5 cents, like 4 times as much went in at 4 or 5 cents as what they put in at 17 or 18 cents. And so they're happy because they knew mathematically what they were doing by bringing their average down.
Look at this average right here. Runeski's bought 10K worth at 42 cents. Like you would think he just got wrecked, right? But he's been buying ever since through the DCA method. And his latest buy was at 1.7. He got that dip. And my average is now 8 cents, guys. 8 cents is his average. That's freaking amazing. Awesome. Good job, Runeski.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shows you the power of the DCA.
And I think people could look at there's a lot that are been around a long time. And even when you're setting a stake or looking at your stakes and things like that, like even to like I heard somebody the other day say that they had unstaked and just restaked for the same amount of time. I think like the same distance of time. People should look at this hex. What is it? Hex vision or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you should look and see when are stakes coming out because we always see a dip around December. Why? Because that's when the contract launched. Christmas. And people go, well, it launched December 2nd. And then the first thing that they did when they started to participate, the first time that there was a chart, I think
1 year
outside of AA might have been like one of those other centralized exchanges. But it was around, later December when there was charts that were public. And so people, if they did participate, they tended to say, I'll stake 1 year, 2 years, on my birthday, on my anniversary, on the first of, like these things that we tend to go to. So if you look and you say, I'm going to restake, maybe making it 11 months instead of 12, or maybe making it, look at the gaps. I think that's a wise play when you're considering your ROI.
I think what's really interesting looking at that now, I remember when in the early days of the AA, before everyone figured out that 15 years was the thing, we had this huge spike at 10 years. And you look at that chart now, and with we know with the wash, like there's a wave of more current short-term stakes. That's going to become so irrelevant. It's just going to be washed over by the wave of shorter stakes. It's just interesting the way that's progressed.
Yep. It's interesting. Yep. So what's on your slate? Like, what's your routine now, Captain? I know you have a Chatting with the Captain. You have a Discourse Syndicate on Fridays. What else do you have, like schedule-wise?
So on Wednesdays, I've teamed up with Famous.
Like that guy. Yeah,
he's a good guy, man, and we've
aggressive.
got a great show. Yeah, he's aggressive, but he does it from a good position. He doesn't. Yeah. He's not strong and wrong. He flexes when he knows he's right, and he flexes when he knows he can beat somebody.
He reminds you of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I guess that's why I like him so much. He's a better version, because when I was his age, I wasn't.
Yeah, he's younger, right?
But he's gone through a couple of cycles too. Like he was an Ethereum guy and other stuff like that, right? He's had longer history.
Yeah, he's a good young man. That's for sure.
Yeah, get it.
Why do I always get them confused? Oh, you're on a different camera. You switched to a different camera, RG.
Come on.
There
we go.
There we go.
Why do I get him confused all the time with the other famous guy? That's the website famous guy.
Famous
IO.
Famous IO.
Yeah, that's Buck, right? Yeah. Is that Buck Fiat that does that?
It's Fiat.
That's our fork. Yeah. Famous is our fork. Yeah.
I always get them confused. I mean, not once they're on camera, but just other names. I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, what do we got here? Expiring.
Yeah, there's the wave.
Wow.
We need more memes. Remember the days of the memes?
Gosh, we just have so many memes.
Hex memes on Telegram. You can go inside there if anybody's curious. Go inside the Hex memes Telegram channel and then go to the media tab, and then you can see thousands of cartoons and memes and videos that were made over the past 3 years about Hex. It's really funny.
Good ones. Yeah, some good ones.
Hey, Gary. RGB, real estate, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's in stateside, or what do you mean?
No, just in general. I'm really excited about our crypto and our real estate ventures with Kenneth. You know what I mean?
Ken McElroy?
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's really, again, that network thing that RG had introduced and Kinetics introduced, and also I think they brought Big Pep in the day and some other people. Yep. They all met those guys. And they have massive portfolios. They're always looking outside of their familiar stomping grounds. So they look in Texas or Tennessee or Kentucky, Kansas City and things like that. So it depends on what you're looking at. Are you looking at ROI where somebody else is going to manage it? Or are you looking at something that you can tend yourself because it's local to you?
Everything. Texas is interesting with the country. Stepping outside of the United States, it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as the outside equity, you have to look at the government itself and property rights. And then you also have to look at your citizenship as far as being able to buy as an individual versus as an entity. But it depends on what you're trying to do. Like setting up an Airbnb and things like that. What I would do is rent in that area first and see if you can play the arbitrage game, especially if you're going to rent it out like Airbnb or VRBO or something. And one of my friends is Sean Rockageech. He runs a YouTube channel. I think it's like several million followers on his, maybe I can't remember how big it is, but it's called Airbnb Automated. So if you go to YouTube and you search for Airbnb Automated, and it's a guy named Sean, he's out of Texas, but his channel is like 4 or 5 years old. And I introduced him to some people in South America as well. And he built like international portfolios because of that. But you should look at like arbitrage first if you're outside of your local area.
Okay.
You know what I like too is Dirty Boots Is it Dirty Boots Capital? Is that his YouTube? It's Dirty Boots, I think. He's got a good show too. Talks about a lot of real estate and stuff. And then of course we've got some other friends that they're just killing it out there. They find these opportunity zones. They find what state is the best state to go and start doing real estate in and developing and whatnot. And they go in there, and I mean, that's the syndications to get into right there. Those guys know what they're doing.
Well, let's say like Lunenburg.
Oh yeah, you know him. Yeah, he wrote a book also. I've got him. In mind. He wrote a book, and I think he actually is like Kiyosaki might have been on his show too.
Oh look, he got Dr. Shrednecki there.
Yeah.
Go scroll down, Dos.
Yep. He's a nice guy.
Scroll down right there. He's got a show with Dr. Shrednecki there.
Yep. He talked to, I forgot the name of I'm terrible not to remember, but the writer, you met him as well, the writer for Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does all those books on everybody. Said you ought to write a book about your story.
Yeah, he's got a template. He's about doing that stuff.
Yeah. Yep. All right, everybody. Well, I think it's about that time. I appreciate everybody coming on today. Anything else anybody got to say before we close out?
I'm going to do a Twitter thing tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If anybody is a developer or a founder, you're welcome to come on the show. It really is tech talk more than anything.
What's the name of the Twitter space going to be?
It's going to be, if you look at my Twitter, which is Funding Gym, you'll see the link, but it is the PulseChain Media. So anywhere on Twitter, Telegram, YouTube, I'm running the channel, but it's going to be, I think Walrus is going to join, KG, some other people are going to join as far as co-hosting. But it basically, if you're making a pitch, then I don't know if it's going to be about required to be doxxed, but you can have conversation on Twitter. And then basically that hour of Twitter space will be edited down to about a 15-minute highlight reel. And then I've been talking with David Gokhshtein from Gokhshtein Media. He's got a pretty big following on Twitter. He says that he would run it on his show twice a week. So like the highlight reels of developers and founders, specifically on PulseChain, highlight reel on the bigger influencer channels is my goal.
Right on. All right, guys. Thanks for coming and joining. Thank you all you Hexicans out there for watching us one more time.
Captain.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I just say that, I used to do a lot of memes, and Jim was saying earlier about how you just take time out. You run out of creativity, with these creative endeavors. My Twitter's JFK666. If you've got any mad ideas for memes, fire them my way. I won't promise that I'll do it. I've got to connect with it, of course. So don't expect me to be a meme monkey for you. But like T-Bird sent me one, which was which I made into a meme. Both the gentlemen above have featured. Of course, there's RGD2 up there. And Jim even featured in a Wacky Races one as the professor. So, you never know where you'll end up. But T-Bird has done that and given me ideas before. Another Calibre from Brisbane's also given me the idea for the bike race one, which was the was by far and away the most popular one that I've done.
That was good.
So if you've got any ideas, hit me up. And also I'll mention for T-Bird, an earlier mention he made in the comments that the captain's just too scared to come to Australian beaches because of the sharks. Mick Fanning.
I'm not afraid of sharks.
Way through the waves.
Let's go to
Sharks have
Melbourne.
never bothered me.
Melbourne, Sydney. Let's go.
Sharks don't bother me.
No.
It's the trouble I'll get in hanging out with all you Australians. It's going to get.
Yeah, well, you can count on that. They say everything in Australia is trying to kill you, Captain.
Yeah, I know. And I know the Australians are going to be first on the list. Seeing how you guys party. Woo! All right, guys. Everybody, thanks for joining. We'll see you on Monday chatting with the captain, and then we'll see you Wednesday with me and Famous. And again, Friday night hangout, your stream. You guys get on. Catch us. See you guys.